When we were leaving our condo to come here, I was walking out the door, I'm like, I wish I could just snap my fingers and just be back from the gym, because I'm just not feeling it. But I did incline last week, and I promised I would get into some upper chest style kind of technique, or my approach for upper chest, without getting into like your front delt too much, especially for guys that have very dominant front delts, or they go to do their pressing and they're not really getting too much upper chest, they're getting a lot of delt, or you are getting chest but you're getting it like in the joint and not necessarily in the full muscle belly itself. So I'm gonna start with bench today and then get into that for you guys, and we'll see where the rest of the workout goes. And I do want to take 5 plates mentally as 500 pounds, even though here it's 484 or something like that, because the kilos. 500 bench is like so sick. And I know there's people that bench 600 and 700 pounds, but I don't know. I'm just a lowly little bodybuilder. I just did 5 sets, 5 warm-up sets with 2 plates. That's how shitty I'm feeling today. I literally needed 5 warm-up sets just to get myself like locked in and feel good and get my joints feeling good and my chest feeling good. We're gonna go to 4 and then maybe hit 5, maybe, I don't know. So there are days, guys, where you have to be a little bit mature and you have to know, when do I push real hard and when do I kind of not let off the gas, but maybe not hit that really big top set, maybe come down to like 80% or something like that. And then also, if you're like me, you're gonna think, nah dude, you're just being a fucking, you're being a bitch, you're being a whatever. You know, and you kind of got both of those in your head. It's like, do I serve my long-term physique and avoid any serious issues in the gym of tweaking something? Or do I establish good habits where I hear that, you know, just let off and take it easy, and then I kind of squash that voice in my head, which is like over here, which also builds a good character. Like they both build good character traits, but in like opposite directions. And as you're training, just remember, if you train one muscle group 1 time per week and you go to the gym every week and you miss a couple of workouts a year, you're still getting 40 to 50 plus workouts. And if you take one every once in a while, not to the crazy heavy weight or not to the crazy whatever, like you want to do, even though you're telling yourself you're a loser for not pushing super hard, just remember, it's like less than 5%, less than 3%, maybe even less than 2% of all the workouts in the year that you might have had to be a little bit more conservative. And I don't know what the trick is or the formula is to figure out when to go hard and kind of shut up that voice of like letting off. And then the other one is like, no, my body is telling me something and I should listen. Like, don't be stupid. Just listen to what your body says. And they're both really good things to have as deciphering when is when. And I think something that's really important is if you have a training partner, just literally ask them, hey, do I look like I'm beasting these weights right now? Because I don't feel like it. And if they say, yeah, man, that shit's moving super fast, here's a video. Like, whatever you got to do to psych yourself out of the, you know, take it easy into the, all right, it's time to push. And then sometimes when it is time to push, if you're doing reps and you're getting heavier and you're working up to your working weight and whatever nagging thing is giving you problems doesn't go away, that's not your sign to push through it, you know? But as you're warming up, if whatever's feeling funky starts to get better, which happens to me a lot, I don't know how or why, then, you know, fucking go for it, man. Like, just go for it. You know, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You tear a pec? Yeah. I was feeling a little bit funky around the 2 plate and 3 plate mark in here, and now that I've done 3.5 and I just am about to do 4, it went away. So now I'm feeling really confident mentally. It's just such a mind game, you know, when you're warming up and something doesn't feel right, and you're like, oh man, it's gonna be a bad day. And then as you're warming up, it goes away. You're like, oh, is that the sign? Whoa, whole rack moves. So that felt really light. I was kind of hoping that was gonna feel heavy so I don't have to go heavier, but that was not that hard. So now I'm forced. Just for the record, I cannot do this. Like, if Megan wasn't here, I wouldn't get this, you know? But the whole point, like I've explained before, in my meatheadology, my degree that I have, actually, I studied, if you take a weight off that you barely can not do, just above your max, and you're on an exercise you've had years of experience with, and you're very comfortable with it, and you've benched just a little bit less than this before, clean, no hands, which I have, you can lower it yourself, and then as you press, you will hit a sticking point somewhere off your chest, and that's where the spotter will help you through that sticking point, and then you finish locking it out. So basically, I have roughly 500 pounds from here, here, here. Megan gives me a little bit, and then it's back to me here, here, here. All me, all me, all me, all me, all me. Megan gives me a little bit, and then back to all me. So that's sort of my thought process for this. That's good. That was fun. We helping a lot?
I don't think so.
The last time I did flat, I did just the 5 plates with nothing added. You know what's so weird? I can feel that extra 17 extra pounds, definitely. That felt different than the last time I did just the plain 5 plates, which is like 484. That was just over or just around 500. So I'm cool with that, just a single with that. And now going down to 4 plates is gonna feel like nothing. And I really think that's a smart and very helpful tactic to use. Not every single workout, every single time you go to the gym, but let's just say you're comfortable with 100 pounds. I'm just using a number, 100 units of weight. Use literally any number you want, X weight. And to just go a little above that, either with the spotter or you're doing something where it's very safe and not foreign to you, just simply the weight is a little bit heavier, a cheat curl or like a really heavy tricep push down or like a crazy heavy whatever, just to kind of get your body like, oh, that's what that feels like. And then when you drop down to your like working weight, it literally feels like actually lighter. And if it feels lighter to you and you get more reps, that's more reps with a certain weight, AKA progressive overload. And maybe I'm promoting dangerous lifting practices. I feel very, very comfortable squatting, benching, deadlifting, barbell rowing, pull-ups, all that stuff, T-bar rows. It's very comfortable for me and very familiar to me because it's been years of doing it. So yeah, I will put a T-bar row, crazy heavyweight, get 3 or 4 reps and go, oh, all right, that's what that feels like. It's not that bad, actually. You know, I want that reaction of, you know what, that's not that bad. Like my confidence a little bit, my physical confidence to handle this weight. It's actually not as bad as I thought. It's not as scary as I thought. Because, telling you, adding weight to something you've never done before, I've never done that. I've never in my life had that much weight on my hands. It didn't feel that crazy. But to me, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot of weight. I didn't have that, holy shit, this is really heavy, this is bad. You know, I shouldn't have done this. I'm really happy that it felt just, yeah, I can tell it's a little bit heavier than normal, but nothing too scary or crazy. And now I'm gonna go down and hopefully I can blast 4 plates for, you know, for some good reps, maybe get a few sets with 4 plates for some good reps. And that's how I train, man. I don't know if this is right. I don't know if this is wrong. It's gotten me to a certain point that I feel very happy with the results. And if it works, you know, for me, maybe it could work for somebody else. I've seen many, many amazing, you know, let's just say pecs, physiques with sick chest development, and they never touched the flat bench. They never did a set of 3 in their life. They're 8 to 12 for all this stuff with very slow eccentrics and whatever. I just find that shit boring as hell. I could never come in here and do a top set, back off set, same rep range, eccentric nice and slow, and explode. It's just so goddamn boring. And I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I'm just in here to have fun. And for me, if there is any sort of like benefit to this muscularly, I kind of don't give a shit if there is or isn't. I am having a fun time in the gym, you know, lifting these weights. And someday I will press that. I will press you. I will, don't worry. Someday I'll get you without a spot, without any hands on the bar. And it'll be a great day. If it was like gun to your head, your whole family, me, everyone is gonna die, you have to bench this. That's a lit. You would be dead. I usually do 4 sets at least, usually 4 or 5 sets of flat. That first one was a single. I'm gonna count that as, you know, a set, and then maybe do 3 sets with like 4 plates or 2 sets at 4 plates. Kind of like get the meat of my working sets with this, which brings me into the lower rep range. And that's the rep range that I found really builds my chest really, really well. However, there is the element of the drop set high rep stuff that I mean, I think it's both. I think it's a both. If I could go back in time and clone myself and have a Paul that never did under 6 reps, and I had a Paul that like did 6 reps and the drop set stuff like I do now, and compared their chests, I don't know which one would be bigger. You know, it's such a weird thing to claim, like, no, you would have been bigger if you did it this way, or you would have been better off doing it that way, and predicting where someone's physique would be as if you know that, like it's some fucking established fact. Like, no, I know you better than anybody, stranger on the internet. I know if you did full body every other day, you would have been way bigger than doing your bro split. Like, how do you know that? Like, how do you even know that ever? How can you say that with confidence when you don't even fucking know me, dude? I'm a username to you that you want to just talk shit to. I got it. That's it, racket. Okay. Cool. 6.37921 repeating was my repetitions. I got it. I always say I got it, like I don't got it. I almost had that one. So 6 plus 1 with the spot, 5 plus 1. I'll do 4 with this, so I'll do a drop set next. That's cool. But I'm gonna go into the Smith machine upper chest thing. So I'm gonna get a little bit more pressing in. So I think 4 sets with this is cool. So the next set, maybe 3.5, 2.5, 1.5. Maybe I'll just do that. The old plate, 25, plate, and then plate to do a drop set. I just gotta graduate from 3 plates, 2 plates, 1 plate. I have to get out of that. And now I'm 3.5, 2.5, 1.5. You can't always PR your top set and increase your top set, but you can increase your back off and later sets. And a lot of people forget, you have your ceiling, you have your basement. It's not about PRing and pushing your ceiling up every single time you're thinking of a PR. It's sometimes you're deeper into the workout sets. Set 3, 4, 5, that's your like the bottom. Like you can raise the floor easier than you can push the ceiling up. And that's sort of how I think about these later sets in the workout. It's, can I PR later in the workout relative to last cut or last month or last year or something like that. See if I can get 10, hold on, watch out. Okay, 9, that's it. That's it. Oh my God. Try this formula out. Heavy for a few sets, and then all of a sudden shock your muscles with lighter weight for a very long time under tension kind of drop set. Five, okay? That's it, racket. I'm not gonna lose it. Oh man, that would have been bad. I would have done one of those things where you tip it and all the plates come off and then all the plates come off. Gotta remember, if you're in a diet and you got a training partner, do not put them at risk. You will hit that point where you're like, oh, a few more. And then they're spotting you and then all of a sudden you hit like low carb wall is my word for it. Where it just all of a sudden your power feels like it just got zapped. And you're gonna put your spotter, let's say on squats or on whatever, benching, you're gonna put them in a vulnerable position because they're gonna be spotting you. And then all of a sudden now they're really spotting you and it's not good for them. So I called that, 2 reps early. I'm gonna show you guys how I target my upper chest with very minimal, not completely getting rid of your front delt, but minimal. I train chest with the goal of getting my front delts involved. I get a lot out of my chest workouts. When I look at the muscles being trained, I get chest and I get front delt stuff. And then on my back days, when I slam my rear delts, they're able to be the same size. When you go like this in the mirror, maybe I can do it without my shirt on, but I want you guys to go to your mirror and I want you to go like this, or even look sideways at yourself in the mirror like that, or have a photo of this. And I want you to look at your front delt and your rear delt. Another thing I want you to do is I want you to make like a side chest pose, but I want you to take your arm off your body like that. So your arm is out here. And I want you to flex your arm. And I want you to look at how big your front delt is and how big your rear delt is. And if you have a big discrepancy between those two sizes, it's gonna imbalance your physique. So I think getting front delts with my chest day has allowed them to grow, but then I intentionally train my rear delts not in the same way. My rear delts are not an accessory with my back workouts, like my front delts are an accessory to my chest workouts. My rear delts are like their own muscle group that I really hit them hard. And you guys have seen, you know, my shoulders when I have a rear delt pump and when I have a side delt pump, and even when I have a chest pump, it doesn't matter if I'm pumped here, here, or here. It took me a few years, but I've built, in my opinion, very balanced delts. And so if you guys have a overdeveloped front delt, how I'm gonna do this is gonna be kind of catered to you guys, or really anybody that wants to hit their upper chest and it has a lagging upper chest, not necessarily overdeveloped front delt, just in general, you wanna hit your upper chest, but you don't wanna get to those money reps where all of a sudden you're like, shit, my front delts are burning. Like my chest, I want my chest to be hurting and burning, but my front delts are burning, and you don't really feel super confident in that exercise, and then you end up doing something else, and a year goes by and your upper chest still is flat. So let's get into that. Whew. All right, so as you guys can see, L seat, not a full bench. This is just like the L chair. If you don't have an L chair, that's fine, just get your normal bench. The main thing that I'm trying to do here though is use a very arched posture. When you bench normally, or chest press normally, I do think a chin's tucked, shoulders are back and down, not necessarily retracted, but just neutral. You're in a standard neutral position. You're not rounded or protracted, you're not ultra retracted back here, you're not shrugging or elevating, you're just, like your neck's not forward or down or up, this is neutral. There's like the home base posture for the human body is just neutral. And pressing from here is where you need to press from, not rounded. However, when I do this with the L seat, my back is able to kind of round over the top of the chair. And I'm not at an incline. I'm still sitting with my back up against this pad. I'm not scooted forward like this and essentially making an incline bench, because I can just go incline bench. I'm trying to sit back here. And remember guys, old school chest stuff that no one does anymore. I'm not crazy fan of it, but you guys have seen when people do the dumbbell pullovers. Arnold and all those guys, 60s, 70s, 80s, even to the 90s, would do their dumbbell pullovers on the bench. And a lot of them did that for chest. And most people will say, yeah, but your chest does this. Your chest brings your arm from out here out to here. It's like, yeah, but your chest can also stretch vertically. There's a really sick photo of Chris Bumstead, I think a couple Olympias ago. He's hanging from a pull-up bar. And you can see his chest being stretched and the striations from hanging. His arms are above his head. So what I'm doing here is I'm not opening up my chest this way. I'm opening up my chest this way. I'm expanding my rib cage. And your chest attaches, I mean, all down here in the bottom, you know, down here, all rib attachments, even onto your sternum, all up onto your clavicle. So if there's attachment and insertion points up in your, you know, basically where your front delt is, like all this hard tissue here where you got bicep, delt, pec minor. I mean, you got all sorts of stuff in here. And this all has insertion, micro insertion points all through here, sternum, clavicle, all that. You can get a chest stretch vertically, like this way, as well as this way. So the point of this is to get my front delts out of the equation by just stretching my chest like that. So I'm going from this, pressing here, and I'm gonna be pressing like this, very arched back over the seat. And I'm just a normal grip, nothing crazy. And I don't think this is a heavy power exercise, 2 reps, 3 reps, 5 reps. I think this is like, you know, stay 8, 10, 12, because it's not ultra safe. I hate that word, stupid word. But it's gonna just basically be here. And the reason why I use the Smith machine, like I said, is because I'm actually pressing kind of forward into the track of the Smith machine out in front of me. I'm not pressing this straight up to the ceiling. I'm kind of a little bit, 10%, small amounts, but there is an angle of force that's actually going diagonal out in front of me. And combining this, opening up my chest vertically and kind of taking advantage of this track that doesn't let me, you know, fly forward, Combining those two, and at least for me, I get a really, really awesome upper chest pump. And dude, my front delts barely feel anything. Like, it doesn't make me go, oh wow, this is a lot of front delts compared to, you know, normal benching or whatever. There's no sensation or like biofeedback muscularly that I'm like, damn, this is so much front delts. Like, I don't get that at all. But I'm just opening up my chest tall with my back up against this seat, and I push my feet onto the fucking things, the pegs down here. And this is only a plate, but right here, tons of stretch in my upper chest, but I don't feel anything on my front delts. This could be me. You could try this and be the opposite and go, Paul, your idea sucks. I'm never listening to you again. I'm unsubscribing and disliking and flagging your page for harassment. But for me right here is so much upper chest. It feels awesome. It might look like a shoulder press, but if I was gonna do a shoulder press, I would be very tall with my posture. I wouldn't be rounding my, I wouldn't be opening up my back backwards over this chair. I would just be sitting like this and taking my shoulders and coming in front of me and front delt pressing. I would just be like that, front delt pressing, but I'm opening up and pressing through my chest. Control this on the way down. Man, that's tough. That is tough. That is deceivingly very difficult exercise. After you're done, check what's going on. Give yourself some upper chest contractions. Try to flex your upper chest and make sure that the muscle fibers up here in your upper chest are actually hard. From all that flat benching I just did, if I go to flex my chest straight forward as if I'm flat benching, and I flex my chest, dude, this feels like concrete. However, up here, it feels a little bit soft. As soon as I flex my upper chest, which is the fibers I want to target with this, my upper chest right now is as rock hard as my middle chest is with my arm down here. So that's good for me to feel, because earlier, my upper chest doesn't really get much. I don't want to say it doesn't get much, but it's not the focus necessarily from that. Whereas this, I am solely aiming for upper chest gains. So, after you do a bicep curl, after you do a leg extension, after you do a variation of something that you're kind of new to or maybe trying out, or you just want to make sure, is this exercise targeting what I want? Just flex the fucking muscle and touch it. And if it's rock solid and feels like it's pumped with blood, there you go. There's your study. I'm trying to cover all my bases. I got my power, I got my strength, I got my low reps, I got my higher, medium and higher reps, I got my longer rest intervals with heavyweight, I got my shorter rest intervals with, lighter weight, I got sets that are in the lower rep ranges, higher rep ranges. I try to cover it all, and I try to take each tactic and figure out, which one of those tactics favor growth for which muscle groups, and how many times per week. My biceps and triceps are 2 times per week. They grow the best. My chest, it's too much. I can't do 2 times a week. I have to do 1. For my back, once a week. I tried twice a week back stuff. Man, shit was brutal. It was like, I needed to be on almost like a 9 or a 10 day. I could do it twice every 10 days. The calendar week, I couldn't do back, chest, legs. There was a point that I just couldn't do it anymore. But side delts, calves, even hamstrings, bis, tris, that stuff I can do 2 times a week. And then within that, are you focusing on higher reps, on lower reps, shorter rest intervals, longer rest intervals? To just, again, I've said this 100 times, to take a blanket statement and say all humans who go to the gym, you all should train exactly like this. Shit, it's nonsense. Nonsense. Absolute, utter nonsense. Come on. I want to say this right now. I'm talking shit. Sorry, I'm talking shit. This fucking machine is not the same as a free barbell. I am hitting reps on this that if I had a free weight in my hands, I would not be able to complete. But the fact that I'm on a guided track, I can push into the track and keep the weight going. I hit failure and the reps started going backwards, and all I did was push into the machine and it started coming back up. I just did that for like 2 or 3 reps. I'm doing that on purpose for this exercise. I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm just saying if you're on an incline bench doing 2, 3, 4 plates, and then you're on a Smith machine, 2, 3, 4 plates, let's just make it known here. Those are not the same at all. Like, you cannot say you incline 4 plates and you're on a Smith machine. You gotta throw that in there because that's ultra key. Squatting on a Smith machine, rowing on a Smith, benching on a Smith. Anything on this, all you gotta do is push into the track, this way or this way, and you can literally take a rep that would crush you on a barbell and just get it up by using the track to your advantage. I just had to say that. Maybe that's mean. I'm sorry. A little trick when you guys are setting up your Smith machine, bring the bar down to the seat, and you can see if the seat is off center with the bar physically on the seat. And then when you go to do your rep, I swear this is a real thing, grab the bar evenly. So you have I have my thumb, the tip of my thumb, right where the rough part meets the smooth part on both sides. What if this is uneven? What if I'm sitting too much to the right, too much to the left, and I don't know? Easy way to figure out is literally just do a pull-up and then lower yourself back into the seat, and right there is direct center. I know it's kind of weird, but it's a little thing I do. I have kind of some OCD with this stuff. Low carb wall. Oh no. See, watch. I go backwards and then push into the track and get it up. I'm gonna do one more, I'm not gonna film it. Let's go to the next exercise for you guys, the spectators. So we got the good old kneeling pad thing. So as I do these, I'm still thinking upper chest, which is weird because you're gonna go, yeah, but Paul, you're going high to low, scooping down here. How do you hit upper chest? Flex your chest when you're lean, and you will see muscle fibers make a wave that go almost up. So when my chest is fully flexed down here, the upper chest fibers in my chest are actually flexed. So when I do this, I don't get any bias upper, lower chest. It's just full chest for me, including my upper chest. So yes, I am coming high to low and coming down here where a decline bench or a dip would end. But for me, I'm still getting contraction across the top of my chest just because that's how the chest muscle works. Is that fully contracted, the upper fibers are gonna contract. The thing is that on those incline things, other incline stuff, is that the stretch is very emphasized in the upper chest and not so much the lower chest. For these flies, where it's kind of a fly press, I'm not straight arm. I don't think straight arm flies are really useful at all. I think an elbow bent can give you the same exact sensation as a straight arm fly without the weird feeling. For me, it feels weird to have my arms stretched out open with my biceps stretched, my front delt stretched. It's just an odd sensation that I don't like. I can get the same chest sensation, arms straight, as I can with my arms bent. And then from this fly position here, with my chest super open, I can fly to here and then press across to here. And I just really like that combination where it's a hybrid. And I do the Jay Cutler, right hand over left, left hand over right. And right into our good friend, Mr. How do you get rid of this thing? Mr. Bodyweight Dips. Wow. That's very difficult. I'm kind of embarrassed at how difficult that just was. But then again, I am 4 sets of bench, even though the first one was, a single. But the last one was a drop set, so that cancels itself out. Second thing I did was the kind of upper chest incline, whatever. And now that's 10 sets total so far. And now 5 sets of this double set. Pretty smoked. And I've only done 1, so I gotta do 4 more. So let's do it. I sometimes sit like this and like rest. Man, this is brutal. Fuck me. Oh, that sucks. But that's how you force your muscles to grow. Is to do shit that sucks, that you cannot do. If your muscles produce more result today than they did last time, guess what happens? It fucking grows. If you produce more result today than last time via quantity or quality, how many reps you do, how many sets you do, all that is quantity. How much weight you're lifting, quantity. You can increase and get bigger via quantity increase. You can also increase via quality. How good are your reps? How accurate are they? How much of the target muscle are you hitting? Are you able to stay on the target muscle as the reps get harder? Is your form improving? That's how you increase the quality of your reps. Maybe you had to just slow the rep down a little bit and you would have got a little bit more out of it. Maybe you had to speed it up with a little bit more power. That's quality. You can increase your size and your gains in the gym, quantity and quality. And sometimes you're nailing, your reps look great, the tempo looks great, your rest times are great. Sometimes you just gotta fucking do more. Even if it's once a month, you do some crazy 40 set fucking back workout. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You got bigger? Ooh, I got bigger, shit. Fuck, I wasn't supposed to do that. I was worried about fatigue. And I accidentally got bigger. Yeah, congrats, scientists. You're avoiding pain and discomfort. For what? What's the worst that could happen if you overdo it? What, you get extra sore? What, you need to take an extra rest day? Ooh, wow, so scary. I don't just talk. Oh yeah, I do 20 sets of chest, or I did 25 sets of back, or whatever. I did 30 sets of arms. I don't just talk about it. Dude, I'm in here doing it. It doesn't matter. Natural, enhanced, it doesn't matter. I was doing more when I was natural. Before I started my crazy mega, what did he call me? What did he call me? Fucking Mundy, that dude. I hate that guy. Always just talk shit to people in his comments. And he talks shit to me on Instagram. He initiated DMing me, calling me a meathead, junkie, roid abuser. I'm like, okay, buddy. Sounds good, man. I was like defending some kid in the comments section who asked him a question, and he just gave him such a piece of shit attitude. And I said, dude, just answer the kid's question. You don't have to be a dick about it. He's genuinely trying to like learn something here, and he looks at you as a credible source. So answer him like, you know, as if you were talking to your friend or your fucking wife or your son or your daughter. Like, you don't have to be an asshole to the kid. You know, he gave him like 2 sarcastic comments in a row. And I said, like, man, he's just trying to learn. He's not being a dick. He's not being disrespectful. Maybe he doesn't get it from your like 2-word answer because you're so sick of going over the data and the studies. You know, the kid's just trying to learn something, and I stood up for him, and he got into my DMs, and then he blocked me, so I don't have the DMs anymore. I just hate negativity, dude. Like, people who just want to come to the gym and have fun and get bigger, and you gotta be negative? There's no negativity in this building. There's no negativity in a single ounce of these weights. There's no negativity anywhere. So the people that bring negativity are people. It's not like working out is a negative thing and we have to like work to make it a positive experience. Working out is an awesome thing, and people deliberately make it negative. I don't understand it. And I stood up for this kid. He comes in my DMs and all these things. Anyways, I've been training and brutalizing my body naturally. Enhanced doesn't matter. You know, even though my enhanced is 300 mgs of test. Story for another day. Let's get these dips done. Those are tough. A little bit uncomfortable in my shoulders, but it's kind of like better to do these when I'm really beat up at the end of a chest workout because I can't do a lot of reps. I can't add weight to my feet. It's almost like, for me, and the comfort, or I guess lack of comfortability up in here, I like doing these when I'm ultra tired. I could never really walk in the gym and like start with dips, put some plates on my feet. Like that's not, my shoulders get very uncomfortable doing it. So I like doing them last. So I just got a couple more of these. I wanted to go over my blood work with you guys. It's very, very, very important to get your blood work done. I'm gonna quickly check the chest pumpage. Oh man, wow, that is a nice one. That's a good one. That's a PR chest pump right there. I have not seen these cuts like this since last year, so look at that. We're going all the way, almost there. Remember last chest day, I was like, when I go like this, I want to see these cuts like a little bit deeper, and I have to get this cut to go all the way across. See how it's like kind of almost there, like right there? Let's see this one. See that one? All the way across. It connects from here all the way to here. So sometimes you guys get obsessed, and even me, I get obsessed with looking at my abs or whatever. Dude, you gotta check out some other muscles because your abs are gonna be kind of the last place for fat to go. So if you guys are looking at yourself, you know, in the mirror and you're seeing more shoulder cuts, you know, you're seeing some extra tricep cuts, you know, back there. Like it's not always just gonna be, you know, abs. It can be your traps. You might be able to get some trap striations, you know. You might be able to see some extra delt goodies. But right now, this chest pump is pretty sick. I mean, man, that's pretty sweet right there. I'm pretty pumped with that. And I got this kind of separation right here in the delt. I got this pec separation. I got this little vein coming in. So. One thing I also check too is as I flex my abs versus just letting them like chill. Like as if I was asleep right now. If I lie down in bed and I went like this, like, all right, I'm asleep. Like, do I have a midsection visible? Like it's coming in, you know, little things like that. It's not always gonna be, let me flex my abs and see my fat loss. Sometimes it's just, dude, look at your bicep. Go like this with your arm. You know, you might see some extra cuts. Little things outside of just the midsection that everyone loves to focus on. But I'm really happy with how this looks right here. This is pretty sweet. It's like a little pumpkin on each side, you know? My arms always suck. I wish I could just chop my arms off and, you know, never show them. I wish like the frame just never showed my arms because I feel like they're so small and stupid. Like my triceps just look so dumb. They're so skinny. Like they look okay if I flex them because maybe there's cuts, but the size, my arms look like shit. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up chest. I'm doing delts. So I'm gonna get into my blood work in a second. And so I'm actually training arms tomorrow or the next day, but I'm very happy with this chest workout. I'm happy with the strength on the bench. I'm happy with these flies. The pump is incredible right now. I mean, this is sick. Like, that's so awesome. I'm pumped to just see that right there. I'm pumped to see this come all across here. Like, these cuts are gonna be getting deeper and deeper. If anyone ever says to you guys, don't bench press, it's bad for you, whatever, you can show them my page. You can say, hey, this kid Paul, he benches, and make sure that you are not avoiding exercises because someone told you to, because this one guy, this one time got hurt doing it. It's like, yeah, there's car accidents every day. So are you gonna never drive your car again? There's plane crashes. There's been a lot of plane crashes recently. Are you gonna never get on a plane again? You know, people drink and kill themselves with alcohol, yet people go out and drink every day. Is it the bench press that's bad, or is it the person that misuses it? And maybe they don't know how to actually properly exercise with that exercise. Or maybe they do it so rarely that they come in and try to ego show off on it. Or they just overestimate their body's capabilities and they go, oh, I can hammer strength 4 plates aside. Let me go bench 4 plates aside. And then they get hurt. Or they hit a PR and then they try to hit another PR. It's like, dude, your muscle's not growing that fast that you can just add a plate on your bench. You know, so be careful with the stuff that you are training on. Like, I'm careful with bench pressing. I warm up properly, do everything I can. But dude, if you got people talking shit about certain exercises that other people have had success with, just hear what they have to say and go, all right, cool data, in your opinion is your opinion. I'm gonna take it. Let me get this guy's opinion. He says bench is awesome, and look at his chest. His chest is awesome. Let me sift through all the opinions and find my opinion. And even me, don't take everything I say and just go do it. I'm just one dude, you know? I'm just one guy. But let's go over the blood work. The blood work's kind of fucked. Actually, it's like 95% awesome and like 5% fucked. But the 5% that is really not good is really not good. And I want to go into that now and what that means. And yeah, I'll see you back at the condo.